helps to add us back in while the intro is being played, doesn't it? It really, really does. Good afternoon. I've got to remember it's afternoon these days. Welcome in. And Martin, obviously, still in his sick bed. He's trying to sleep it off. So you have got myself, Ian, who is hosted today, and alongside me, we've got Alan, or as I've got him on my phone, other Alan. How you doing, mate?
All right, aye. Holding up. Not brilliant.
Well, at least it was a win, but we'll get to that in a minute. We have it all. We have it all today. We have the question of the day. We have who am I? I've picked the who am I today, and it is random. I'm quietly confident, but I've been quietly confident before, and it's never gone well. But let's start with that whole question of the day thing that we seem to now like.
It's the question of the day. If you love a good question, then we're coming your way with the question of the day. Question of the day.
There you go. Just that bit at the end, and it's like very sinister. Question of the day. You will answer. It's like that still game when they're doing the quiz, isn't it? When matey comes in and comes in from the other pub. But the question of the day, then, again, supplied by one Ian Thompson, is this. What is the earliest you have left the game and why? Kind of in keeping with what happened this weekend?
Left early. I never leave. To be honest, I've not been at a game for a while, but I tend to never leave the games early because I can't mind when it was. It was years ago. It was back when Advocate was in charge, and I think Rangers were playing Hibs at Ibrox, and I think it was me and about four of my pals. I can't mind the score either, but we left. We thought we'll leave early. We'll leave about 5 minutes early and try and get the train home quicker. And as we were leaving, Albert scored. So I've never obviously wanted to leave 5 minutes early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, I remember. I've got to go a long way to go to Ibrox, so I'm not leaving early. I'm usually one of the last. I'm being kicked out as opposed to leaving early because I'm going to spend as much time as I can there. But not from a Rangers game. But I remember being when I grew up in Exeter. We went to Exeter City and we'd left before half time because they were 3-0 down. They weren't going to win, and the pub was open. So I was like, you know what, screw this. I got better places I could be, and off we went down to the pub. I don't think I've ever left a Rangers game early just because of the amount of distance I've got to travel to go.
Yeah.
But Gallant, that kind of needs a little bit more explanation.
It does, doesn't it?
Our very own Craig, normally only 5 minutes or so to beat traffic. Mate,
yeah.
You live in Plymouth, so I don't know what traffic you're trying to beat. But only, at Wembley, I've never been to Wembley, but I hear it's atrocious trying to get in and out of there. We have Alan Neal saying he never leaves early. Fair play. I don't either. And then we've got, have to leave 10 minutes early every game because I have a ferry to catch. Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
I went up when COVID was finished. I went up to the Real Madrid game. Very excited to be going to a Real Madrid game at Ibrox. So I was like, God, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get a pie and a bovril. And it turned out there wasn't. It was just water because obviously COVID was still in place.
Yeah.
There was a guy sat next to me, and he left after 25 minutes.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. He was like, "Yeah, enough of this." Off he went.
What's he expecting? Was that not the game? Was that not one of the games Matondo was brilliant? I think, wasn't it?
No, that was Sakala's introduction. Matondo's best game was like West Ham. We're like, yes, this is the man who's going to bring us the league, the Champions League. He's going to bring us all. Yeah, so there's your question of the day. There's your question of the day. Any more, then I will stick them up on top. Away from all things Rangers, Alan, New Year's now sort of in full swing. So how are we going? What's 2025 been so far? Same as usual, or has there been any changes or anything like that?
Yeah, same as usual. Yeah, that's it. Just plugging away into it. That's what happens after New Year. Nobody's getting any money. The weather's terrible. Back to work. January is a depressing month, especially even more than because you're a Rangers fan. It's a double dip for being January, isn't it? No, just not even the football can cheer you up nowadays, isn't it?
You'd love them, though.
I know, just terrible. Just honestly, it's just terrible. I've just lost my oomph for. I know we won yesterday and that as well, but it's not doing anything for me at all. Don't know about yourself, Ian, but it's just you're just waiting on the next catastrophic result, putting its head up.
Well, as it's a week of home games, we've got 3 games in a week at home. I'm expecting 3 wins because we don't tend to drop points at home. So, but Gallant has chucked in a little bit extra to say he wasn't even joking. I didn't know they actually had a makeshift jail cell inside Ibrox with a police desk. Oh yes, they've got one there. I've never been in it, but I knew it was there. I knew it was there.
Go on
Snipers come in. He was 72 minutes against Liv in the quarter-final of his daughter's first game. She started crying after Arfield scored the only goal of the game. The noise at Ibrox scared her. I can understand that.
Yeah.
The noise can be, if you're not used to it, it can be quite a weird thing. Because I thought that might have been an issue for my son because he has a few sensory issues when it comes to loud noises and whatnot. And he coped at Ibrox with the St Mirren. But so I can understand that. I know I've watched a few games on the telly where it's been like 3-0 at half time, well, that game's over, and then turn it back on and it's like, oh, the other team won 4-3. Brilliant. Missed all that.
Yeah. That's what happens, isn't it? Obviously, if you knew that was going to happen, you wouldn't turn it over. But to be honest with you, yesterday, I don't know. I don't know if it's just something wrong with myself personally or just had enough. You know what I mean? Just bored yesterday. I wasn't even excited about the game. I actually fell asleep during it. See, about 65 minutes, I fell asleep for about 15 minutes and woke up, and the score was still about 3-1. So I didn't miss anything. It's just, I don't know. It's nothing stood out for me yesterday either. Watching the game, it wasn't any. I don't know. I wasn't impressed by anything. Just nothing stuck out in my mind. It's just, I don't know. I'm just fed up with it all now.
I think a lot of people are getting like that just because we know that we'll get a couple of good results, and then there'll be another result around the corner that'll just knock us all back down a peg. That we start to feel good about something, and then poof, down we go again. Because after we played Celtic in the Old Firm game, you're all up because you think, right, that's what I want to see every single time we play. That's what we're going to see now. We go to Hibs for 20 minutes, we get exactly that, and then we're back to the normal, and then. I mean, yes, we won. I get that, and everyone's happy that we won because I think we've now extra points away from Aberdeen because they drew. But you couldn't get yourself excited for it. I think you saw that on the watch along as well. You saw it on the watch along. Yeah, that we were winning, and we went, good, scored. But as soon as St Johnstone scored, everyone's like, Christ, if they get another, that was the initial thought that went into my head.
You were expecting it as well. You thought, oh, maybe they will get another one. It's just they're just never guaranteed to what to expect for Rangers, isn't it? It's just they've just drained the life. They've just drained the life at me. Clement, and the board.
Well, I think our own Mr. Thompson is trying to poke the hornet's nest a little bit. Did anyone leave early for the first time yesterday? Around a particular time, are we thinking, Ian, or just anybody just leave early? Because there was a sizable amount of people. I know that the UB left on the 55th minute, quite obviously, and that was seen. But if you watch as it goes around, there was a sizable amount of people that left with them around the ground.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, Ian, it's the only thing that's going to get a wee bit of notice, isn't it? You can stand outside with signs and all these things, but if a huge chunk of fans are leaving the stadium at a certain point, then it is going to get noticed. But it's going to be a case maybe the Union Bears won't show up for these games, because obviously when the Union Bears don't show up, the place can be like a morgue. So, and I was going to say it might not get the players hyped up for it, but what are these players getting hyped up for? You know what I mean? They get hyped up for playing at Ibrox. are playing in Europe, but they can't get hyped up for playing away from home. That seems to be the issue. Terrible.
Yeah. So, shall we have a little go then at the Who Am I? We should have a little thing for the Who Am I. I'll get Martin to make one. We should have a thing for the Who Am I. Maybe a Scooby-Doo type deal thing that you're taking the mask off, and I'd have got away with it if it wasn't for you pesky comments. That sort of deal. So, I have got one. And like I say, I am quite happy with this one. So, I'm hoping that we can go with this. So, I started my career in 1985. I played my entire career in England, playing for 7 different clubs, but one of them twice, so 6 essentially. And I made over 350 appearances in my playing career. There we go. So,
no idea.
Started in 1985, played for 7 different clubs, one of them twice, so therefore 6, and made 350 appearances in my entire career, all of which were in England. So, no, Lyndon, it is not Ian Brady. Although we might keep saying we'll do a serial killer one. Maybe we will one day. We will. Seems to be, see, he's poked that hornet's nest now, isn't he? He's poked that hornet's nest. Now we don't agree with booing. So Gallant's saying he doesn't agree with the booing. Whoever wants to leave should be allowed to without being booed. Which is a fair point.
Yep.
Those who decided to stay, there's no, they decided to stay. Those who decided to leave decided to leave. It's one of those things. It was there for us to do it or not do it. It's your choice. You pay your money. You can do what you like. So I'm in that side of things. And although I agree with what the Union Bears are doing, trying to get it going, had it been me, I'd have stayed because, like I said, I travel up a long way to go to the games, and I'm not saying that's any different for anybody. Just if you live across the road, if you decide to stay. But I wouldn't have left just solely because I have to do a 700-mile round trip just to watch a game. So that would have been me. I'm right behind what they were doing, and I kind of get it. Maybe there's a different way they could go about it. We'll find out in the fullness of time. But if you want to go, you go. If you want to boo, you boo.
True. It is. You've paid your money. You can do what you want. It's said everybody's at their own individual circumstances why they want to stay or they want to go. Personally, I think that the Union Bears are doing it is good because at least somebody's doing something. The board need to take notice. I mean, it's not even. I mean, what? I mean, me and you sitting here. I mean, we're not. I don't think we can really do anything. The main issue is to try and get Clement out. That's the board aren't going to pack up and leave. Let's be totally honest about this. The board aren't just going to sit down and say, "Oh, the fans don't like the way we run in a club. We'd better get ourselves out," because it's not going to happen. Yeah. The only way the fans are going to turn round is by getting Clement out. And I've said on the pod loads of times, Ian. I've said it for months and months and months. He's bulletproof. And see when they sat there and they said he's 200, the board are 200% beside him. He's been told. See when he's been told when he signed that daft new contract, they must have said to him, "We promised you 5 million. We can't give you 5 million. We can only give you 2. So whatever happens, you're safe. This season's a write-off. Do what you want, and that's it. That's the only thing I can think of."
Just a little bit of positivity in as well before we go. Ross McMurdo becomes a channel member. Thank you very much for that. Stick around. If you've been a channel member for more than a month already, or if you've upgraded your YouTube, then you can join the Discord, but only if you've been with us a month as a member. And if you are a member who hasn't already joined the Discord, you should, because it's mental in there. Just go in with an open mind, folks, and make sure that you message rangersrabble@gmail.com if you want access to the Discord, but you do have to have been a member for a month. So Andrew Lamb, one of the best voices in the world. If you are in a bad way, you just need to talk to Andrew and he'll get you calm. He doesn't have to really say anything in particular, just let him talk and it will calm you down. He says years of pure judgment have led to the shambles that we've got now. This is now a 1 to 3 year project. I can't disagree with that at all, really.
I don't know. See, to be honest, I think you're saying 1 to 3 years, possibly, but I think if you get rid of Clement, you bring in another couple of players, it might change things. That's what I'm hoping for. But can you go through another 1 to 3 years of this? I mean, honestly, could you imagine Clement was in charge for 3 years?
Oh.
That isn't even worth both thinking about in 3 years for Clement being in charge.
I tried to be positive and go with the whole that, you know, if he's there, we've got to get behind him, and maybe he will turn it around. It may take the season to do it, but the more and more I see it, the more it's if he keeps going the way he's going with our away form, we could end up not being second, which makes it harder to qualify for Europe even more. And at the end of the day, we need to be doing better than what we are. And so I definitely don't think he's the man to do it now. I've turned that, I've jumped that ship. But if they're gonna stick with him, we've got very little we can do other than back what goes out every week, which is hard.
Yeah, but how can you back something you don't see any faith in? That's the issue. And it's like, how can you get pepped up and excited for something when you know for a fact the man in charge just isn't fit to be running the team? I mean, it's his after match interviews are just terrible nowadays. I mean, he keeps on going on about transitions and duels and all these things, and it's like, what are you talking about? He keeps on bringing up duels all the time, and it's like, I don't know why he keeps on saying these duel things. It's like football's a 11 against 11, but he's acting as if it's a man v man when they're jousting with each other with big long poles and stuff. He keeps on coming on about duels every single time he comes out with an after match interview, and it's just I've heard enough. Honestly, and I'm sick of the sight of the guy now. I just want him gone. I'm fed up.
Well,
honestly,
we could depress ourselves by talking about Clement for the next sort of 12 minutes or so, but let's not do that. Let's talk about something that is a little bit of positive and a little bit of a shining light and a little bit where you can see light at the end of the tunnel. Hamza Igman, again, I know Martin has somebody in the know when it comes to Moroccan, but that I'm not saying, I can't say it like that. It's Igman. It's spelled with an I, not an L.
Ligament.
Yeah. Ligament. I'll end up calling him Ligament, and that will be the end of it. He's continuing his goal scoring form. Is it 12 goals, 1 and a few assists in his last 12 games as well. I know you shouldn't really be putting so much on such a young player, particularly someone who's just come in, who we keep getting told isn't ready for this level. But man, he's hit the ground, and he hit the ground running.
Yeah, well, that's what he said. He's not ready. He needs to get put in the team. Blah blah blah. And he comes in. The boy,
furniture he's got to build.
Yeah, he's come on. He's played well. And the guy's got all the tools to play at a much higher level than what he's playing with us. But the only thing I'm sort of scared of is if someone comes in for him. I don't probably think he'll leave at the end of this month, but I think if somebody maybe comes in for him, because we're hearing he's getting monitored by Tom, Dick and Harry, if somebody comes in with an offer for him at the end of the season, your board will probably take pennies for him. But if it wasn't for Igman, who knows what we'd be watching nowadays with this team? I mean, where would it? I mean, we'd actually been going back to relying on Dessers. I mean, come on, we'd be relying on Dessers scoring all the goals for us again. And, it's just depressing. You know what I mean? That is what it is. It's just depressing watching, depressing all round. I know we're trying to be positive, saying Igman, but that is the only sort of positive I can think of. It would maybe have been a wee bit different, Ian, to be honest, if he had actually bled him in the team for the start. Maybe just I know he was carrying a slight injury when he first signed, but he wasn't injured for months and months and months. You know, it just took forever to bleed the boy into the team. And then obviously the thing as well I wanted to say, he was on about, what was it Clement said, January is going to be the month where Baylor Rice becomes a first team member of the team, and he wasn't even on the bench yesterday.
Yeah,
it's like
that was made mention in the presser.
Yeah, and he brings on Kieran Dowell. Kieran Dowell was the whipping boy now for just fed up Rangers fans seeing the guy coming on. mean, he doesn't do anything for a football player. At least if you bring Bailey Rice on for 20 minutes, he's going to get a wee bit of experience. You're going to see what he's actually got. But I don't know why he's bringing on Kieran Dowell and Bailey Rice isn't. That's the thing with Clement. You just can't trust a word he says.
No,
He's
no,
that's what we're all looking. We're all looking a wee bit forward to Bailey Rice, and it's like, nah, he's. I'm no. I've said this, and I'm going to do something else. Not unless the boy was injured, fair enough. But Kieran Dowell for Bailey Rice. That's what we're sitting with now. You know,
that's been the way it should. It should have been Bailey Rice. And yesterday was an ideal opportunity with 3-0 up.
it was. Yep, I know.
Not looking in any danger. We caused ourselves danger at the end by letting them back into it, then getting their confidence up a little bit. But yesterday was a perfect game for him. It was brought up to him, saying that in his conference, saying why wasn't he in the squad and all the rest of it. And all he did was play to the platitudes of the guy that asked the question, because it was Stevie Clifford. And he goes, well, I go to all the B team games. I've seen Bailey. And, I've seen you there as well, haven't I? I've seen you there. So he's just playing on egos and all the rest
deflection.
of it.
Yeah.
So but he does this to himself, unfortunately. He goes out there and he does that. So Bailey Rice could be another shining light that comes into it. I mean, you got Raskin as well. But like you say, where would we be without Hamza at this point? I mean, the kid has come in. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have him for long. I don't think we're going to have him for long. I think we'll have him up to the summer, and then somebody from down south will pick him up.
For a lot of money.
It's got to be for a lot of money. It can't be for, we bought him for 1-2 million. We've sold him for 8, so we've made 6 million. No, that can't be like that. It's got to be the big money, because he is done. No. When he goes, wherever he goes next, if he goes from us, and I'm not saying this is the price they'll pay. Say somebody pays 30 million for him in the summer, right? He goes off and he smashes it in the Premier League with an Everton, because they were the ones that were coming in. And this is all hypothetical. I'm not saying 30 million is it. I mean, Juicy Bear Gaming, you're probably right around 15. There. Yeah. You're probably right. Somewhere between there and 20, maybe. But say he went for 30 million, he goes to Everton, he smashes it up, and he's Everton's top goal scorer for a season. And then the likes of a Chelsea or a Man City and you can see that the Italian teams come in and do it as well, or the Spanish teams come in for him, and he goes for 80, 90, 100 million. So we've got to maximise our pint and hopefully have a hell of a sell-on as well.
Clause. Yeah, I know. Well, that is obviously not following our sort of player trading model, but that's what a lot of happens with Celtic. I mean, look at Van Dijk. Where did he go to? He went to Celtic, to Southampton, to Liverpool. Mm-hmm. That's what seems to happen with these big teams. The lower half of the Premiership teams will take a punt on them, and then the bigger teams will take a shot at them. But I mean, what happens if Igaman gets injured? Igaman gets injured or something like this season as well.
But back to this is again, Lyndon. I did say it was only a hypothetical. I didn't say he would go for 30 million. I just said hypothetically.
See if you think about it, Ian. Right, with how much did Patterson go for? Was Patterson not about 12 million or something like that?
Somewhere between 12 and 16.
Yeah. So if you look at it, the broad spectrum of things, right, Igaman is technically a better player than what Patterson is. He's scoring goals in Europe and things. So if we're going to get about, just say, 12 million for Patterson, we should be getting a lot more for Igaman.
What do we get? What, 20 for Bassey?
Yeah, so there you go, Bassey.
You can't get that type of money for Igaman.
Celtic get the money. Celtic get what they want. I mean, Celtic held out for high bucks for O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they come in with all offers and says, no, it's not good enough. We value the player higher than that. That's what we should be doing. So, in the end of the day, as Ian says, is a goal scorer. That's what teams want. Teams want guys that are going to score goals. So, I think they should be playing hardball. If we're talking about we're selling him right now, but if we do sell him, we should be getting a lot more money. Probably our biggest transfer, I'd say, if we do ever sell the boy.
Jordy thinks that Igaman could walk into a top Premier League team like mine. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with it.
I know.
But that's the way. And we'll go back to the who am I then, shall I? Because I haven't seen a single guest come in for that yet.
Yeah.
So as I said, I started my career in 1985. Started up in the northeast of England before making my way down into the sort of the Midlands or into the Yorkshire-ish area. Heading down south for a bit before coming back up towards the Midlands again, before eventually retiring after my second stint on the south coast. I commanded a whopping 4.25 million in transfer fees. And of my 350 appearances, 240 of them were in the English Premier League. So to give it all to you, he started his career in the 80s. He played 350 games, scoring a total of 58 goals across 7 clubs, one of which he played for twice. And then started in the northeast, into the Midlands, down to the south coast, back up to the Midlands before retiring on the south coast. See if anybody gets it. And no, Lyndon, it is not Fred West. One day it might be, but it's not today. No. Although, looking at his picture, maybe. But no, I'm not seeing anything yet. But who knows? We'll find out. We'll find out in a bit. So we head into. I know it's Monday and it's a bit early to talk about it, but we've got Aberdeen coming up this week, and I know they've gone through a bit of a dry patch themselves. They've not won in 11 now, considering they started the season by not losing in 11. They're now down to not winning in 11. Lucky to have escaped with a point yesterday after Parts missing a penalty at the last minute, but we know what they are going to do come Wednesday, because they always do. Paul, no, it is not a Rangers player, because he spent his entire career in England. And unless we move to the English Premier League at some point between the 80s and 90s, he's definitely not one of our player that came with us.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very quiet, isn't it?
It is.
Maybe technically, is it a point for Martin? If it's a couple of minutes left. No, I can't see.
We've got a couple of minutes. I'll give you till 1 o'clock, because we did start 1 minute late, so we will. Now, proper. I'm just going to bring this up because Bluno says it. I'm not sure if he actually is, because the bookings only apparently, and this is only going by something that happened in our group chat, that the bookings were to do with the first 19 games of the season, and now we're into the second part. It's like they've been scrapped and you start again. So he may well not actually be suspended. Either that, or the powers that be have gone, he's actually useless. Let's keep him in the team, so he'll do him more damage. So we'll ignore the suspension. One of the two, anyway.
What can you say about proper though? It's like we should have a receipt and send him back to Holland. But Clement seems to like him. That's the whole point. I mean, he made him captain, and he was playing as well. So obviously,
yeah,
Clement holds the guy in high regard. We've all said it, Ian. We just don't think the guy's cut out for Scottish football. He said it himself when he came here. He misread Scottish football, but he doesn't really seem to be getting any better. The thing I noticed yesterday as well, he was pinging balls up top, and they weren't really doing anything. They were just getting cut out. I thought he was in Iniesta pinging balls up, and nothing was really sticking. So it's like he's been told to cut out, but he was trying these long diagonal 80-yard passes, and they weren't going to anybody. They were just getting cut out, and it's like the ball's just coming straight back to us. So I don't know. He is a sort of whipping boy for defences now, but sorry, I just don't think he offers anything for. You want somebody with that pedigree. You think you're going to get somebody who's solid, commanding in the box. He doesn't do either. You know, he gets brushed off the ball far too easily for being a big, tall centre half. But what can we do? As long as Clement likes him, and he's going to play him all the time.
Yeah, and Gallant, I don't think we'll ever know the answer to that question. In fairness, I don't think we'll ever know. Clement is the one who must have. I mean, Coppin goes and has a look and brings players to Clement, but Clement mightn't have known who he was in the first place and told Coppin, go and get him for me. We'll never know the answer to that question, because they'll never tell us. JD's right. JD is right. Nintiala looked quite solid. Did have one hiccup, but there is some promise there. Definitely, I thought these 2 games that he's played, I thought he was fairly decent.
I don't remember. This is the boy who was signed for Milan and high prospects, and then he was in the B team, and he's not ready. And I think the main issue is Clement just isn't willing to sort of really give a lot of players a chance when they come into the team. He wants players to settle in for months on end. I'm sure I heard something on Rangers TV. Did someone know play for one of the Dundee players the other day? Did they know sign the night before or something? I'm sure I heard the commentator saying, "I so and so he signed the night before and he's playing for Dundee in the next game." It's like that's what always used to happen. But for whatever reason, Clement seems to want to lead these guys in for months before they actually make an actual shot of the first team. But NCL, he's done no bad, hasn't he? That's the thing. He's not been brilliant, but he's not been bad either. And when you look at that, he's probably been better than Robin Proper.
He must have something about him. He must have something about him. You don't get to sign for AC Milan in any way, shape, or form unless you've got something about you anyway. I mean, I know we've said that about players before, but Italian clubs don't tend to want to waste money. So,
and they wanted to keep him. Remember?
They wanted to keep him. It was Inciala's decision to leave. This is Loader Up. If you can back that up with some evidence, then I'll bow down. But I know that the sex on the plate is my saying that I said once and nobody knew what it was. But I know Martin was sold on him after one tackle in a game, which was live on a watch along, I think, as well.
And then he scored an OG. But the writing was on the wall, wasn't it? See when he scored the OG, we were willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's been downhill since then, isn't it? That's just
right.
That's just the thing.
Go with to finish this off because we've got to that magical half an hour mark now. Just to go through some wrong answers. Matt Letitia, no, he spent pretty much his entire career at Southampton and never moved. Not Neil McCann because he obviously played in Scotland as well. Jackie McQuillan, no, not David Kelly. Obviously not Jermaine Defoe because he played for us. I said it was in England the entire time. Oh, Martin, guess what? I've got you a point back because nobody got it. The answer is Stuart Ripley.
Stuart Ripley.
Mm-hmm. One of my favourite Blackburn players. And weirdly, I used to like the way he played because he played off the wing and he was a decent player. Went to Southampton, tore it up there, started at Middlesbrough. Had a little stint at Sheffield Wednesday. Then went back down to Southampton to retire. He was a decent player. So there you go. We've got one back. I win.
You put it on the board.
I've got to find it. Where is it? It's a fight back, folks. It's a fight back. As it is now.
Sniper saying Rhea Ripley's dad.
You never know. He might have done. He might have nipped off to Australia again. Never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Martin 5, comments 19. We are on our way. We're coming back. We're going to get you. There we go. Rhea Ripley's dad, indeed. I mean, there you go. I've put the scores up. Look, it's 5-19. He's right there. Oh, I know it's not as fluid as it would be as if Martin was here, but, the man's ill. Got to leave him be. So unless there's anything else you want to talk about, Alan, I think we are done for today.
Yep. Until the next time. Till tonight.
It was 14-0 to the women's team yesterday. And if you want to hear about the women's team, by the way, you can tonight at 6:30 on the channel because they will be on the guys and the girls for the women's team who follow them, who can see them and tell you all about them, will be on. And let me just tell you what else is on. So for Monday, you've had that. 6:30 will be the women's show. 7:30 will be Monday Night Rabble. And at 9 p.m. for the members, we have the EPO show returning as well. So there you go. 4 shows for today on that one. Make sure there is nothing that I'm missing on that side of stuff. I think it's all there. No, that's it. So, yeah, we've got the 4 shows, starting with the women's show at 6:30 tonight. Then the Monday Night Rabble as always, and then the EPL show right after that. So make sure you tune in and catch up on that, particularly if you're one of the EPL fans. I won't be there for the EPL one because I don't really do the EPL. I'm supposed to be out tonight, but I don't think I'm going. So there you go. I'm supposed to play football. My doctor's told me not to, so I better not. I kicked the ball the other day. My knee gave out. But anyway, that's it. 5:19. We're on our way back. you know what's happening tonight. So make sure you tune in for all that sort of stuff. And until later on, we'll see you later.